ayayere uyo uko kuno apo pano mamuona kere nice.
Right, 7 November 2021, and today I'm joined by my usual guest, Mr. Panganai Mhlanga. How are you, Mkom?
I'm good. I'm happy as always. Thank you for having me again on the Kambaka Media. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And this is your show, Mkoma. So I really value the contribution that you've been making and all the information that you've been giving us over the past few weeks. So today I want us to quickly wrap up on the issue we started last week. This is the issue of the challenge on President Mnangagwa on how he got to be president of Zimbabwe by Sybeth Musengezi. And unfortunately, I still haven't been able to get hold of him to talk to him about the background of the case. But have you seen the court response, the response by President Mnangagwa to the challenge?
Yes, I have. Yes, I have. I mean, I'm happy. That response itself, actually, I'm humbled, actually. The way I responded in our last session is the same way they've responded, and I'm happy about it.
Okay, let's go straight into the legal arguments, and let's see if President Mnangagwa has done a good job. Let's start with the first argument, which is to say that the Musengezi challenged President Mnangagwa in his capacity as the president of Zimbabwe, which cannot be done as President Mnangagwa has immunity. What do you say about that?
You know, they mentioned the events that led to the presidency of E.D. Mnangagwa in that response as well. And I also mentioned those events, right? They actually mentioned that 4 years he has never actually submitted such a response. The events that led to E.D. to be the president, it was the Central Committee, and after the Central Committee, there was a Congress as well. And after the Congress, there was an election also when E.D. was actually elected into power by the majority of Zimbabweans. So for me, that was just humbling when they responded that way.
Okay, now let's go to the issue of Sybeth Musengezi. Is not a member of ZANU-PF. He's actually a member of Godfrey Tsenengamu's party, FIZ. What do you say about that?
Well, to tell you the truth is, I actually saw on Sybeth's Facebook page, he actually put up a post whereby he actually did present evidence that he's a member of ZANU-PF. In that response that ZANU-PF has put up also, I do not understand why they would disown their person, but I'm not sure because now somebody is saying this is hearsay now, because he has actually presented evidence that he's a member of ZANU-PF. And ZANU-PF is saying he's not a member. And they actually argued the fact that if he's not a member of ZANU-PF, he doesn't have a right to actually put up such a petition. You see, that's the challenge. But this is hearsay. I'm hoping that you're going to get him on Kambaka Media at some point, whereby he would come here and actually explain what is exactly happening, because it is good to hear from his side and for me to talk on his behalf or to talk on behalf of ZANU-PF, because now we have got two issues now. ZANU-PF is denying him, and he is actually saying that he's a member, because I've seen it. I've seen it on his page, the membership card, and which is updated, you know, stuff like that. So
yeah, but ZANU-PF did present a video where Tsenengamu was sitting with Sybeth during the launch of FIZ, but that was before it became a political party. So I don't know if that counts for anything.
Technically speaking, what the card says is ZANU-PF. It doesn't talk about the Tsenengam faction and stuff like that. But the ID that I saw, it says ZANU-PF from Sybeth side. So
okay,
yeah.
so everyone who's watching, if you go to gambakwe.com now, I have put the court document, that is the response by President Mnangagwa. On gambakwe.com, you just look for the story, watch live, Mnangagwa responds to Sybeth Musengezi president's challenge. So this is a very detailed response as court documents are supposed to be. And they then go on to mention that Sybeth is related to Xavier Kasukuwere. So let us read this. I want to read this statement fully. So it has currently been discovered that the applicant is the branch deputy secretary to which no elections were held for branch officials other than the chairman. This means that anything else has not been verified and its authority and authenticity questionable. It is believed on investigation by the DCC security that reports to me as chairman of DCC4 Harare, also acting chairman of the Harare province, that applicant was planted into the relevant district without relevant credentials for political and other reasons by the former secretary for the commissariat, Xavier Kasukuwere, to whom he is allegedly related. This is becoming a dangerous situation because last week I revealed the document for a struggle for the vice presidents. And in that document, a number of names were mentioned.
Yes, that's correct, pardon. But my challenge, I'm responding to the response. When you mentioned that, yes, I did actually realize that they mentioned Xavier Kasukuwere in that document. I don't think that information was even relevant to even mention it because they've already argued their facts based on the constitution of ZANU-PF. I think that was enough. About him being related to who and stuff like that, you're just trying to bring issues and also try to come up, have other issues into this whole perspective. Mentioning Xavier Kasukuwere in this document on the lowest part from ZANU-PF side, it was irrelevant. That's irrelevant. That information does not even add anything because from Sybeth's side, he didn't even mention Xavier Kasukuwere. He's not a respondent and everything. Those were, it's a conspiracy theory. It's a theory. So you cannot force the court to act on a theory. So when you force the court to act on a theory based on how you are thinking, you're forcing the court to think as how you are thinking. So that's my challenge. From ZANU-PF side, basically, that's irrelevant.
Okay, I want to address Ramai, and I hear you if you say these issues matter, but I can almost assure you that this issue would die on the issue of locus and of immunity. I don't think anyone can challenge President Mnangagwa at the present. So legally, I think this matter is dead. But what are the political implications here?
There are no any political implications here to talk about. Actually, this whole document and this whole court application is just a waste of time. From my own perspective, I said it before. It's just a waste of time just to divide the narrative amongst the people of Zimbabwe towards 2023 elections and come up with a narrative that is illegitimate when he was actually voted into power through an election. So for me, this is just a waste of time and a diversion.
Yeah, but to what end? To what is the purpose of discrediting President Mnangagwa at this present moment? Because I can assure you that there's no one in ZANU-PF right now who has got the standing of President Mnangagwa to go into this coming election. Who can step in place of President Mnangagwa?
Or they should have done that recently on this conference. It was not an elective conference, Congress, but they should have been somebody who would have come up with such a dispute, and he was elected anonymously that he will be standing for ZANU-PF for 2023 elections. So if somebody didn't say anything, then it means E.G. Mnangagwa is the elected candidate for ZANU-PF. These are facts, guys. This is nothing to do with supporting ZANU-PF or sentiments of ZANU-PF or something like that. It's just facts, analyzing what it is on the ground as it happens. Crying and also coming up with this whole issue, because actually the document actually spoke about being quiet for 4 years and come up with this whole thing. It doesn't make sense.
Okay, so legally, Sybeth seems to have no case, but there's something else going on behind the scenes.
Legally, we cannot say that because we have to leave it to the courts to decide on that narrative, because it is the court decision to either grant him his petition and look at the facts that are there. So we cannot say that legally he does not have a case. It is the court that is going to tell us that if he's going to have that petition granted in favor for him. That's how it works. We cannot speculate because it's bad to speculate. Otherwise, it will seem as if the legal of our Zimbabwean legal institutions are, what you call it, conquered or captured and stuff like that. So we leave it to the judges and the magistrates to decide on that in terms of.
Okay, I was just looking at the AFM in Zimbabwe case, where a church pastor challenged Madzire, and he lost on this very same basis that he did not have locus, because if you are, he's nothing in the central committee, he's not in these structures, his documents are not verified, and he waited 4 years. His case is against the president who's got immunity. To me, it almost seems like this is a publicity exercise.
Exactly. I agree with you 100% there. I think you realize that in that response, they actually mentioned that these issues should have gone through the Central Committee before they could be approved to go into the public. That is the constitution of ZANU-PF. That is how it works. So if you want to be part of any organization or any company, you need to adhere to the constitution, the policies, what they believe in. So you cannot join an organization after you have read the constitution and at the same time you go against the constitution. So it doesn't make sense. So you should have done through that process of going through the Central Committee. You should have submitted that petition to the Central Committee before he submitted to the High Court, because that's what is the ZANU-PF constitution requires their members to do, and he didn't do that. You understand?
Okay, I get you, and I think the lawyers here for President Mnangagwa, they've done a good job. I read this document. If I was a judge, I'll be happy to accept the argument that they make, compared to my brother Sybeth.
I think they actually listened to our last conversation when you did that, because everything that they have put in that document is exactly what I said in our last conversation when we had this discussion about Sybeth. It's just a misunderstanding of the constitution from Sybeth's side. He didn't understand.
Okay, then let's go to some key figures.
Yeah. Let's
go to the document that I referred to last week, the struggle for the vice presidency. There is a guy there called Danmo Mambondiani, who apparently met with Sybeth on July 2021, and instructed him to carry on this case, to launch this case. This is according to this document. Do you see this as a conspiracy theory? This same guy, Danmo, and the chairman for Mtare or Manikaling, they were mentioned in the attack on Chamisa.
Yes,
what do you think?
This Danmo guy, right? We need to actually investigate further. When the Central Committee meeting was held, it was held with the 200 participants. Was he part of that meeting when it was decided that ED will be the interim president of ZANU-PF that time? So if he was part of that meeting, then why now? And why didn't he even actually oppose that notion or narrative?
So no, they are saying they want to pin this whole issue on Vice President General Chiwenga. That is what this document is about. Because remember, this is not a legal case. As I said to you, I don't think this is a legal case. This is a political case. What we are seeing here is the beginning of something political, not something legal.
Well, pardon, let me tell you something. What is funny is, if it is about General Chiwenga, right, they should have named him as the first respondent to that document. That is a fact. So, which means that people, they do not know what they want. They do not understand exactly whom they are fighting. And they're fighting another person indirectly towards another person, which doesn't make sense. It complicates the whole situation. For me, if it is about Chiwenga, he should have been mentioned as the first respondent. And
yeah, but doesn't this sound odd for you that as we are talking about this case, this document materializes, which shows so much detail about the fight for the vice president? Because this is what it's about. Don't you see this as a precursor to what happens after Mnangagwa is gone? After he finishes his 5-year term, have they not started fighting already for who is going to be supreme after the departure of President Mnangagwa in 5 years' time? In 5 to, let's say, 7 years' time.
If people want to be, if they believe that people who support them, they should just come out clean and not use these old tactics that they're trying to do. It doesn't make sense. Somebody should just come clean. If you want to stand as a president of Zimbabwe or as a candidate in an election, just come out clean. Not use these old tactics and try to use the name of the party. Because you remember, we discussed about why people want to hang on to the name of the party, because the party is bigger than an individual. So that's why people, you see, they go around those things and try to come up with theories and stuff like that and strategies, but they do not come out clean. If you want to stand as a candidate, just come out clean. If Chiwenga wants to stand as a candidate, if he has got the support, he should just come out clean and stand on his own as a candidate for presidency. Because we're going to 2023 elections and the petitions are still open. He could just register himself as a candidate as well.
Okay, I think personally, I don't think Vice President Chiwenga has any presidential ambitions. If he has, I haven't seen it. I haven't seen him openly challenging President Mnangagwa in this way.
I agree with you. Maybe people just use his name.
The problem is the papers from President Mnangagwa are raising issues that come from the July. Remember the July issues of last year?
Yes.
These papers are raising a lot of those issues to do with fees and to do with all the people that were dismissed and planted and the G40. I think, like you're saying, most of the issues that are being raised here, they are not legal. They should not have been in these papers. Maybe they should have been out of the papers.
Yeah, that's it. That's irrelevant information from that response. It's irrelevant. It doesn't respond to Sybeth directly because he never mentioned those things at all. So I was wondering why they mentioned them in the first place. So that was my main issue. It's irrelevant. It's irrelevant. So for me to comment on those issues that are irrelevant, it's something else. We have to respond to what Sybeth has put into the High Court. And
okay. And Sybeth has been very vocal. You saw his Facebook posts today. Very aggressive posts. What do you think about that? He's been going after President Mnangagwa.
Well, personally, like I said, I actually say that I've got so much respect for him, right? On the other side, because you need to question some of these things, right? He has got guts. That's a respect that I have for him. He has got guts to do that. And everybody should be doing that, even on the opposition side. You should be questioning things. Even if they are not clear to you, question them. And they should be made clear to you so that you understand. So for him, he is free to post on his Facebook page like what he's doing, because he has got rights that are actually protected in the Constitution of Zimbabwe, which is free of speech. So for me, I've got respect for him. To tell you the truth, I've got respect for him, because I would want him to do that. I would want other people to actually do the same thing like what Sybeth is doing. He's a free mind. That's how I believe
Right.
in that. Yes.
All right, let's wrap this up, Nkoma, and I want to end with this comment on the screen.
Yeah.
I think Tsanangurai Marombedze is got it right. We are watching something big here. Maybe not during the current term of President Mnangagwa. But do you think ZANU-PF is going to survive after President Mnangagwa is gone? These guys, are they not going to fight each other to the death?
Oh, we spoke about the issue of a system. I don't think I need to repeat it again, right? ZANU-PF is a system. It's an entity. It's an idea. ZANU-PF will still exist even if anybody is not there. Mnangagwa, Chinamasa, and everybody else. It's a system. So it will survive. This is nothing. This has got nothing to do, because if ZANU-PF had issues, we should have seen ZANU-PF 1, M, 2, 3, 4, 5, and all their other fractions. But we have not seen that with ZANU-PF since the beginning, right? So for me, ZANU-PF will still survive because they've been consistent when it comes to ZANU-PF, because we only talk about ZANU-PF. We never talk about ZANU-PF, M, N, G, whatever.
But the problem that I'm seeing, Mkoma Panganai, is management of succession. I feel as if we've got President Mnangagwa now. He's managed to get hold of ZANU-PF and control it. He's in charge. Whoever is going to come next is not going to have that time. And now we're 7 years. 7 years is nothing in politics. So President Mnangagwa is going to win 2023. I've assured guys that from my analysis, he's going to win. Now, those 5 years, when he's in office, are they going to be able to find a successor for him who is going to bring the party under his control?
With succession, pardon, it's like this, because there's the Politburo, but there's also another it's a meeting or group of people within ZANU-PF that are not known, whereby they keep these secrets within themselves. So with succession, I believe they have actually identified the people that can succeed ED. But the problem is they cannot disclose those people to anybody, because it will cause further divisions within the party. So they keep it as a secret. So with succession, I know they've got a plan for that. Every political party should have a plan, and it's secret. It's a secret plan when it comes to succession, because everybody has got a plan B, because somebody can just die today, and what is going to happen? That's how it works with political parties.
Okay, so I want to respond to my brother there, Willard. You're saying I must post the reply so that everyone can see. So I want to show guys how to read this document. If you look on my screen, you will find a document that says "Watch Live Mnangagwa Response to Sybeth." You go into it, you click on the document here, and you see these arrows. You can scroll through the document, because last week people had difficulty going. So it's a 40-page document. The only thing we don't have here is the video. Everything else is here. So the document is there on gambako.com. You just look for this story. If you want to search, you go on the search. You can find any story you want. And you can also find the previous story here. And I consider these to be very, very important developments in the politics of Zimbabwe.
Yeah.
We are at a critical point as far as I'm concerned. Nothing of this sort happens without someone with muscle.
Yes, but
this is muscle. This is not brains we're watching here. We're watching someone flexing here.
Exactly. Thank you for that. When you say this is muscle, not brains. Thank you for that. Yes, yes, there's somebody behind it. But the problem is the person doesn't have the guts to come out clean. and they're using other people to do it for themselves, which is very unfortunate. To use Sybeth to do that for them on their behalf. They should just come out clean. This is what we want, and this is what we're going to do, and this is our own observation. Not to use other people like that. Now we see that he's being attacked right, left, and center. You know, that's not good. That's using people there. This is bad.
Yeah, Roramai, I think to answer Roramai, there was a case of jealous Mawari Mbizo, similar to this one, where a guy from Norway just started challenging things. And we saw that when you see that those court challenges coming, there's someone else, there's a strong figure behind the whole court case. So that's why I'm saying this is more of a political action than it's almost like someone is announcing to Zimbabweans that this is what I'm feeling, but I don't want to say it myself.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, you don't want to say it yourself. You want to use other people to do it for you, and that's very unfortunate. That's cowardice. You don't do that in life.
Okay, then besides the legal response, what do you think President Mnangagwa should do politically?
With what? With this document?
Obviously, he's much smarter than us. He knows what's happening here. What should he do politically to address this situation?
I think he's already done that with the response with that document. That document will actually just crush that thing from that's okay. Then he has to concentrate on other things that he needs to do in life, because that's the best that he can do. You can't, because remember, we spoke about membership, because ZANU-PF could be right on the other end, that Sybeth might not be a member, because we haven't seen him being banned or actually thrown out of
expelled
from ZANU-PF. I've not seen that, because I was expecting it to happen with this Politburo meeting that happened when we had this session. So they could be right that he's not a member. They could be right that he's not amongst their registry and stuff like that. They could be right, because you cannot ban somebody who doesn't exist.
Yeah, but so President Mnangagwa is entering his last term. This is going to be his most relaxed term. He's got the attention of the whole nation. I don't see him worrying too much, especially as we go towards 2023. He's probably just wrapping up most of the programs that he started. And as I said, my concern is what happens after he's gone. Not what is happening now.
What happens after he's gone? Like I said,
yes, after President, let's say 2 years before President Mnangagwa is gone.
Like I
these
said,
fights they are quite telling and quite dangerous.
Like I said, ZANU-PF is a system. It's an idea, right? Like I said, with regards to succession, I believe it is a secret amongst themselves, because they cannot disclose it to anybody else, because it will cause further divisions within the party. And there's a higher decision-making level of people who make those decisions in ZANU-PF, and they have made that decision to keep it a secret. So I do not think it will be a problem after he goes 2 years or what. ZANU-PF will still exist, and there will be a successor to E.D. Mnangagwa, and that is guaranteed.
Okay, thanks very much, Ngoma. And I think we are right on 30 minutes. Let's wrap this up. It's a Sunday. And unfortunately, we wanted to discuss the Zambian budget, and we never had an opportunity because this very interesting issue came up. Let's wrap up very, very quickly. Celebrity presidents are falling left, right, and center. You see what is happening in Malawi. You see what is happening in Botswana. You see what is happening in Zambia. These guys come in with so many, in Ghana, they come in with so much like promise, but then they fail. What is happening with our celebrity presidents as we close?
The problem is it's being a president is more complicated than most people think. The policies that get people elected into power and the sentiments and their mandate would change when they actually realize exactly what is happening. We can talk about Herman Mashaba. If he's to be the president of South Africa, we know that he is in favor of foreigners. But when he does that, when he comes into power as a president of South Africa, you realize that his policies will change. So it's an imagination that gets people into power without actually understanding exactly what it means to run a country, an economy. It's too complicated. And some of these things that people think that they can just do it, they think it's easy to do it, but it doesn't. It's not like that. Unless you become the president, then you understand some of these things. Then you're like, oh, okay, this is difficult. Then you have to change your mindset. So that's why they are failing. Because
I forgot to mention Ramaphosa. He's in that group.
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
But with Ramaphosa, it's quite a different story altogether. Actually, his dismal performance can actually get him fired.
Yes, this is going to happen. Right. Mr. Panganai Mhlanga, Afro Hutnik, that is your platform.
Yes.
And people can get you, can WhatsApp you on this number, +27681913861. Changamire, I know you wanted to join. Unfortunately, we can't join today. I don't have my other. Sorry, sir.
Well, I was saying maybe I will say some last words that I just want to. There's something that I just wanted to say before.
Oh yes. Let's go ahead.
Oh, like now. Oh yeah. Remember last time, like you mentioned Afro Hot Mic, right? And also I also mentioned that I'm a DJ, and people were saying, oh, pardon, you're bringing DJs to this platform. That mentality of people thinking that a person can be a DJ, it doesn't work. You're limiting yourself as an individual, actually. And I'm a part-time DJ, and I will not mention the radio stations because this is political, and I don't want people to hate me because for political affiliation that I might have. So in life, I believe that people should have multiple sources of income. It is very important for people to do that. That's why you see people fail all the time, because when their major multiple source of income fails, they go down. So for me, guys, being a DJ is a part-time, and I make money out of it. And I'm happy to do that because I love music, stuff. So it's something else. It's a mentality that people should not limit themselves in life. Don't limit yourself based on your academic qualification whatsoever, because somebody just becomes a civil engineer and he ends there. You can also learn law. You can also learn accounting. You can also learn anything. With Google these days, people are privileged. It's only you who has got the idea and also the initiative to learn. So if you want to learn anything, you can learn anything, and you can be anybody. So that was my response to somebody who says, oh, you're bringing DJs to this platform.
Yeah, the day I got respect for you was the day of the White City bombing.
Yeah.
You were one of the first people to get everything right. Your analysis was amazing.
Perfect.
Yeah. So from that time, I had a lot of respect for you. I've been following you since. And
thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Let's see what happens. But as I said, let's not take this lightly. Zimbabwe is a different country. It's a spiritual country. And when things happen, they happen in ways you don't expect.
Exactly. That's correct, pardon. Like I said, we cannot speculate what the courts are going to decide, because we just have to leave it to the courts to decide, because now they've got the petition and they've got the response. So they have to act on those two things. So we cannot tell them how to respond, because the other side has got a case and the other side has got a case. So it's up to the courts. That's how independent it be.
Fantastic. Don't ever think that you vanquished the G40. That is the last thing we're going to say here today.
What?
Thank you very much. He says, don't ever think that you have vanquished the G40.
No, he's right, but they're weak. ZANU-PF is a system. If they were powerful, they would have come up with their own political party, right? That could actually compete with them, with the supporters within ZANU-PF, and bring some of the supporters from ZANU-PF to them. So they are weak. So yes, they have not been vanquished, but they're weak. They're nothing.
All right. Thank you very much, Mkoma.
They're living in exile, so that's all. They're nothing.
Right. Thank you very much, and let's talk again next week. Good night, everybody.
Thank you very much, Pado.
Uyo uko kuno abo pano mamuona kere nai ano pura meso ano pura nzebe ano kaya marigi kama kweto tikom kweto tikom usasai kama kwe ano kaya marigi
kamba kwe uyo anotara mari anogaya mari garai mamunzwa pane nyaya pano zvamunoda kunzwa zvinotaurwa pano madiko kumunzwa mugova ne.com kamba kwe vanogaya mari vanotaura mari vanosiya mari kamba kwe vanotaura feya kuti pamberi zvichafamba sei vanhu terere zvikubatsirei mukufamba kwenyu zvikubatsirei mirai ndikudze kuti chokwadi pano chizere kamba kwe vanogaya cash vanopa mafacts vanotaura straight vane evidence vane confidence plus intelligence
entertainment current affairs and news kamba kwe .com usasarire kamba kwe anugaya mari